Hello, my name is Ernie Smart. I'm from Texas, and I just wanted to make this video to try to maybe encourage and inspire and motivate people to reach out and touch the lives of other people. One of the things that I'm really excited about is a company that I'm now a founder with, and that's On Passive. Being a part of that business means that I'm a part of somebody who's reaching out and wanting to help people. That's what the business basically is for. It has other important reasons as well, obviously. But so what I want to do is talk about some of the bookmarks in my life. A bookmark is a time when you have a memory, when you've made a memory, when something special has happened, and maybe you've touched someone's life or someone has touched your life. So those are bookmarks. Some of the bookmarks in my life are things like one day I was in a hardware store and I had my son with me, and we were checking out at the check stand. What happened was this man came up behind me and he had put some things on the check stand, and I noticed on his finger he had a huge ring. As I looked at it a little closer, I realized that was the Dallas Cowboys Super Bowl ring. And obviously it's a Dallas Cowboy who's wearing it. I really never did check, I never did ask him. I was so excited about seeing the ring, I didn't ask who he was, but he looked like it was probably Bob Lilly. That was an exciting moment in my life. That was a moment that I remember. Maybe a minute and a half of time, and it was very exciting and very good. And I remember also one day when I was on my way to Alabama, and I was at the airport. The reason I was going to Alabama was because my dad, he's my hero. My dad had fallen in the woods on his chainsaw and cut his foot off. And so I was going to Alabama to help take care of him for a while. But at the checkout table, there was two men were standing there talking, and one of them was standing next to something that was sitting on the table, but it was covered with a towel. Well, I'm a kind of a nosy person, so I decided I wanted to go over and kind of find out what was that all about. And when I did, I kind of eavesdropped on what they were saying, and I was ready to ask a question if they should happen to ask, but I heard the word Heisman Trophy, and I thought, that's a Heisman Trophy. I bet that's, and I listened for a little bit longer, and I said, is that a Heisman Trophy? He said, yes, would you like to see it? And so I said, absolutely. He took the towel off of it, and I got to see a real, genuine Heisman Trophy. And the man who was standing right next to it was Billy Sims. He's the guy who earned the Heisman Trophy. What an exciting moment. What a great time in my life. I needed to learn some things about Billy Sims so that I could tell the story of the people. And one of the stories that I got from him was that he didn't meet his dad until he was 16 years old, and his dad was on his deathbed. He didn't live a really wonderful life at the beginning. So he was blessed towards the end to have the opportunity to play on a professional football team and do the things that he does. There were other things that I got to do. One of the things that I got to do was to carry the Olympic torch in 2001. That was an experience that I had dreamed about for many years before. I was just waiting for that opportunity. Whenever it was coming back through Fort Worth, I was going to be there. And one day my wife picked me up from work, and she said, would you like to carry the Olympic torch? I said, you know the answer to that question. And she said, well, there's a newspaper article in there. I want you to read it. And if you think you want to do it, just go ahead for it. I read the article, and the article said I had to write an essay in order to be able to be entered into the opportunity to carry the torch. Well, I'm not a real good writer, but I said, I'm doing it. And so I sat down and I wrote my essay, and I found out later that 250,000 people wrote essays. And it was just really awesome being able to do that, to talk about my dad. My dad was my hero, and what their essay was about was somebody who impacted your life. And I got to talk about my dad. What a story. So that was another very, very big moment in my life. But it had a bunch of little moments in there that were very, very special. Part of those moments were the the photographs and the autographs. Because when I was standing there waiting for the event to begin, the ceremonies to begin, a man came up to me and he said, now you know what's going to happen, don't you? And I said, no, sir, I'm not sure. What's going to happen? He said, well, people are going to ask you for your autograph. I said, well, I'm not famous. I'm not anybody. I'm not really an autograph person. He said, yes, you are. He said, if a 10-year-old comes up to you and says, can I have your autograph? He sees something different in you than you see. And you became somebody significant to him. You have a moment in his life when you can tell him something very, very special for him, just for him, about his future, about his chances in life, about everything, anything you want. And that changed my whole view of autographs. And so that was a great and amazing thing. I did about 600 autographs that day, and I really totally enjoyed that. Photographs, people would come up to me and they would say, can I have my picture with you? And I would say, yes, but only on one condition. And they said, what is that? I said, if you want to have a picture with me, you got to hold the torch. I get to hold the torch? I said, no, you don't get to hold the torch. You have to hold the torch. They were so excited. That made their moment, and I got to do that with probably 300 people, maybe more. I never counted, but I got to have my picture taken. All these people holding my torch. What a great thing to happen. And then towards the end, or towards the middle of all that, a man came up in a wheelchair and he said, can I see your torch? I said, absolutely. And he said, can I get a picture with you? And I said, sure, but you got to hold my torch. And then he was in a wheelchair, but he wasn't totally crippled. And then he got up, and he reached around in a bag in the back of his wheelchair, and he took out a framed item, placed it in my hand, and now I'm holding an Olympic gold medal. This man was an Olympic gold medal winner, and I got to meet him. He became a part of my life after that, and I got to hold his Olympic torch. These are special moments in my life when I was able to make it a special moment in other people's lives as well. Our purpose in life is not about us. Our purpose in life is about other people, what we can do to make a difference in their life. That's what our purpose is all about. And that's the only kind of purpose you're going to have and really have joy. If your purpose is something else, that can be something pretty amazing, but if it's not about touching the lives of somebody else, you won't have nearly the joy. And those are some of the bookmarks in my life that I just like to talk about a lot. There are some detours. There are some dead ends in our lives. When you have a dead end, you either stop and it's over, or you find a detour and you make another way. In my life, I didn't go to high school because my stepdad, he got injured on his job and he couldn't work anymore, so I went to work. I quit school and I worked for a while. Eventually, I needed to get more money, so I went down to the library and said, can I get a GED? And they said, sure, we'll set you up for the classes. I said, no, sir, I don't want the classes. I want the GED. I want to take the test now. And they said, well, we can do that, but it'd be hard for you to pass the test. I said, that's okay. I will give my best. I took the test. It was about an 8-hour test, and I passed it. I got my GED. That took the dead end and turned it into a detour, because now, as I go looking for a new job, I can say that I have a 12th grade education. What an amazing thing. So after I got my GED and I began to work better, I got our family on their feet, and I was able to leave, and I went and joined the Army. That was another thing I could not have done had I not gotten a GED. That was another one of those detours that I took. And after I finished my master's degree, my bachelor's degree, I went on and got all but 8 hours of my master's degree at the seminary. And so that was one detour that was really filled and packed with other things. What a great thing. That was great for me, but that also gave me the opportunity to learn how to reach out to other people in my life. Now, there's one other thing that I want to say that I think is really, really important. When do we do, well, whatever it is we're going to do to make a difference in people's lives? I believe we have to do that today. I believe we have to do that today. Now, let me just tell you, this is kind of maybe scary, but I want you to know that we're not going to see tomorrow. I'm not going to see tomorrow, and you're not going to see tomorrow. We're going to, when we go to step into tomorrow, all of a sudden it becomes today. There isn't a tomorrow to step into. There is a tomorrow to plan for. And so in our lives, we may need to make a difference in people's lives by giving time in our life to help other people. And it doesn't necessarily mean giving them money. It may mean walking with them along the way. It may be carrying them along the way. Our task, our purpose, is to make a difference in people's lives. Now, I want to go back to one other thing about there's a deadline, and there's a finish line, and there's a goal line. And the deadline is the one that I don't really like, because I don't like having to get pressured and try to get something done in a quick time. But a karate instructor told me one time, he said, when the person gets ready to use his hand to break a board that somebody's holding, he doesn't aim at the board. He aims below the board, so that when his hand comes up here, his target is to be down here. His target is on the other side of that board. And so what he does, he aims for his target, and the board is just a little obstacle in the way, and he breaks the board. So the finish line is when he breaks the board. The goal post is down there at the bottom, where his hand reached the place it was supposed to reach. All of us have dreams and hopes. Let's have our dreams and hopes and help others along the way have dreams and hopes. I would like to invite you just to look up on the internet the business name On Passive and see what it has to say. There's a lot there. Their goal is to reach out and help other people. So thank you for listening, and God bless you. And, oh, you know what? There is one other point. Now, we may not see tomorrow, but we will see eternity. Some way we will see eternity. I just want to invite you to talk to God and ask Him to help you get to eternity where He is. That's going to be the place of the greatest joy. So thanks for listening, and